Looks like we're live.
Yeah, it does.
All right. This is Sue Greenwald with Awakened Stories. I'm here today with King Smarty, also known as Sananda Galactic. Hey, King, how are
Looks like we're
you?
live.
I am fantastic. Who that was your end or
That
mine?
was me. That's me.
Oh, it's cool. I could have sworn I put down my volume.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, we are live.
We
Let's go.
are
I
live.
I,
Okay. Just want
I
to
just
check
shared
because
it.
there's been a lot of tomfoolery lately with technology. Like, I've had lots of reports from people that are doing things that it's not working, and that's been it's been sometimes difficult to get things accomplished because of that. But
Yeah, definitely true.
yep. Okay. We talked 3 or 4 days ago. Any new things that you want to announce or talk about first?
Um, well, the I told you souls are going to continue even rapidly.
Okay.
Even more rapidly, the I told you souls are going to continue, and some of them may look like they're not what they supposed to be, but then it's going to be corrected. That's what you're noticing right now.
Okay.
That being said, we're just going to go. Let's just go into Q&A so we can get all these questions out the way.
Okay. Super cool. All right.
We might we might
Ibrahim.
not finish them all, but yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's burn through them. So Ibrahim Troy. Sorry about the mess up of the name. I have trouble saying it and it will take a while, but is he multi or ultra dimensional?
He's one of us.
Okay.
Yeah, Daddy talks through him, and if you listen to when he speaks, you can tell that Daddy talks through him the same way he does through me and everybody else that work for Daddy. So yeah,
Okay. So he's basically he's fulfilling his mission,
right.
right? He's
And
being go
right.
ahead. He's being
And
protected.
he's being protected and we're making sure of it.
Okay.
That's why we put that video out where, the captain of the people song, and then you have my silhouette in the background because let's face it, I'm everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that was a fabulous video. And I
Right.
love there's a part in the end of the video where he goes and shakes Putin's hand. And I was like, oh my golly, that's premonition, but you know, awesome.
Well, if you look at all the videos that were done, um, there were things in that video that's 100% accurate that has happened or will happen. Okay. For instance, I wear my pants rolled up at the bottom. Everybody that knows this, those videos show that without me saying anything. We was in front of the Jets and with the bag wearing my pendant. That happened too. The what you just said with the Putin and the Traore, that
Right.
happened too.
Right.
So Daddy's working through all of us to do what we're doing. There's no doubt about it. People can have the doubt if they want to. That's not going to stop what we're doing.
So it's kind of like The Simpsons, but in a good way. The videos are just showing people what's happening, what's going to happen, and
Right.
we're seeing it unfold outside, out in the outside world.
That's true. Very true.
So cool. So cool. All right.
Yep.
All right, separate topic. So anything else we need to know about him or what he's doing? Or
Um, well, I'm sure I said it before, maybe not publicly, but I've told everybody that Dad wants him to be president of Africa. And as you can see from the video that was posted yesterday, they had a poll on there saying that if Africa was to unite, would they want him as president? The last time I checked, it was 99%,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is, did you see that?
No,
Which is,
I didn't.
you'll see it when you replay it. But there's a
Okay.
ferry that just passed by.
Okay.
You'll um people um people will see it if you go back and look at it. However, he will become president of Africa because that will happen, and all those that oppose him will have to, um, you know, will have a come to Jesus meeting. Nowadays, they'll have a come to Sananda Galactic meeting because we are definitely doing what we're doing. We're, removing people, places, and things, and we're doing it in such a way where no one is harmed except for the individual that made their last choice.
Okay.
They're
And
literally being evaporated and teleported to, Pebble Valley and beyond.
awesome, awesome. And we're seeing all these videos that are coming out about how Africa has been oppressed and their resources taken, their people killed and harmed and all of that. And the current presidents, the ones that have stood up to the colonizers, we'll call them, they're
Right.
no longer with us.
That is true.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll add to that is that it's been happening everywhere, including here in the U.S. The problem with here in the U.S., they're not going to do it in the open like they've been doing it over there because there's certain laws which were put in place by them as well. Anyway,
Yeah.
make it seem like we're free and we're not,
Right.
or should I say, make it seem like you, the people, are free and you're not. So that's why the necessary changes are taking place, where you'll be educated on your rights and all of the other things like um allodial titles and stuff like that will be mandatory. We're going to do things where it becomes mandatory for all of these different things, these rights, and then you learn about it because you obviously don't know shit. Those of you guys that are calling us crazy, we're not crazy. We're connected to our Heavenly Father, and this has been a mission for us. So, that being said, it's time for the rest of y'all to wake the fuck up.
You had told us before that both Putin and Traore are watching these videos, so they know that you're out there.
Everybody knows that we're out here.
Yeah.
Everybody,
So,
everybody, South Korea, China, everybody knows who I am. You want to know why? Because we're doing things in their countries, in their states, and to them as well. It's not just an American thing that I'm doing here.
of course,
That's why I, every time a certain individual says we're going to make America great again. No, we're going to make the entire planet great again, and the whole fucking planet, not just this district here.
right, right.
So, there's there's 2,000 plus secret agencies out there. Some are private, um some are government, and some are just groups that are forming or have been formed, and some are off planet, and they're all watching every single one of them. And the good guys, which is us, I'm ahead of all of them. I'm the head of all the light forces. And the bad guys are finding out the hard way that that is true. So, where do we go from here?
We're only going up from here,
That's right.
right? Right. We're seeing it all happen on the outside world, more and more, faster and faster. It's really exciting. So exciting.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. Switch of topic, space. Okay, do spacecraft burn upon reentry?
Not ours.
Right,
No, no, not ours. If you've been listening to what I've been telling you guys, we use teleportation, or we used to use teleportation to come in and out of the glass dome. That being said, if you watched Wakanda, the latest, not the latest, but the recent Wakanda videos, and you see he goes into the Wakanda area on a spacecraft,
right.
the only thing that happens is the energetic dome opens up so that he can get through and then it seals back up. Did you see anything burned there?
Yeah.
Right. So So that being said, we've been lied to forever, almost forever. Anyway,
Okay.
that's why Daddy always tells me to tell y'all they lie, they lie, they lie, they lie, they lie. Because they lied about everything, and you're finding out just about everything was a fucking lie. Everything.
I think it's going to be way bigger than we can even imagine right now. Like we'll get to that later, but okay. Is the space station doing it like a flat rotation, like kind of like the simulated crystals are inside the etheric dome?
Yes, because they have no options.
Right. They can't get out.
No,
Right.
which is why there's cables, not cables, but elevators to go to certain ones.
Elevators.
Yeah, you can't see them, but they're there.
Are you kidding me?
Never do. So
Okay.
yeah,
Elevators to get to the space station
yes,
and where else?
everywhere. There's teleportation and there's literal elevators.
Okay.
All of this will be revealed because that's why I'm coming out, not coming out because I've been here. I'm doing things in the public because I don't give a fuck, right?
Yep.
Everything is being revealed, and it has to be revealed because this is the part of healing and the part of people realizing that we've been lied to, and the part of the planet actually evolving and being a more high vibrating loving area where you'll be able to go anywhere around the world and not have to worry about anything. However, yes, because of the reptilian mind control and the certain sprays that they got, because they literally spray shit in the airs. You call them chemtrails, but they're actually spraying amnesia type things to
Right.
make you forget and all that stuff. So yes, there are elevators, there are portals, and there are abilities to make you not see things. That's what hypnosis does. You ever seen somebody get hypnotized and then the person's doing some weird shit,
Yeah.
barking like a dog, acting like a chicken, shit like
Yep.
that?
Yep.
So if they can do a mass hypnotosis or however you fucking pronounce that
Hypnosis.
shit
Yep. Yep.
against the whole people, the people are not going to see these reptilians because you've been hypnotized not to.
Mhm.
Oh shit. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then I told you guys about how the frequencies and energy, or should I say the energy, certain things lower your vibration, like foods, pills. They know this, which is why they want you to stay at a low vibration. So when it's time for them to consume you, they can just snatch you up. They can't snatch a person who's vibing high because they don't see them either.
Clue.
So there's a method to my madness, if you would. But yeah, it's
Genius. Yep.
a lot,
Okay.
lot of wild stuff. Go ahead,
Okay.
next
So,
question.
so we know that there's portals, so that we have been out in space, just not the way we're told. Like we're shown a rocket ship and all this blah 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 fanfare, but there's portals and evidently elevators and teleportation. Okay. So we have
Yeah.
select planets or whatever.
Well, you have to understand that the military, although they say in some in some areas they're 144 years ahead of the people of the surface. However, that's not accurate
Yep. Okay.
because if they were 144 years ahead of us, they wouldn't be using these stupid ass little things that they're using. Because why would you try to go in and out of space when you can just go through a portal?
Right.
So these fools need to take a fucking seat and watch how the real boss does it.
Well, it's actually, I think it's part of the show because, the tax dollars are being diverted to NASA, the space program, to whatever. Of course, they're not going there other than the show part of the deal, you know? But it's
Right.
also another way of bamboozling us. They're teaching us the wrong stuff on
Yeah,
purpose,
because right, because not only that, they taught you the things that they want you to manifest for them because these individuals have no skills whatsoever. They can't build the way we can do, they can't manifest the way we can do, but what they can do is lie and manipulate the people to manifest what they want.
right?
That's what they've been doing.
Right.
And we put an end to that. It's over
Okay.
because now people are learning and people are listening. And if you're not directly listening to me and my crew, it's already happening energetically around the fucking planet because we, I, and Daddy are lifting the consciousness. So there's no way around what's happening. There's all types of people out there that say they know this and say this and say that and claim this and claim that. And at the end of the day, here I come. Hello, remember me? Some don't even remember me because they don't even know the fuck. They don't know the truth about anything.
Right.
You're talking about a being that was created billions of years ago, who was the first one to own everything because it was given to him by his creator, Dad. So for you to tell me that you own a piece of property, a planet, or anything, not happening.
Right.
Not happening.
There's so many, I mean, there's people here on Earth that, you know, claim to basically be you. They're the king of this, they're the one that have the codes for that. They, you know, they all want to be high level and get this glory and attention, you know, but they're
Yeah.
not doing anything to help the people.
Yeah, that's true. And they don't even know how to. They wouldn't even begin to start or understand
Yeah.
um where everything lies, which is why, there's the daddy made a certain being to represent him. Okay. And that happens to be me. And you can say whatever you want. You can say I got an ego. You can say this. You can say that. I don't care because last time I checked, people are being healed. People are manifesting. People are producing what I taught them to. People are healing, or not healing, but people are participating, volunteering, and helping out. Right? There's no groups on the internet anywhere that are doing what we're doing, which
Right.
is why we're highly censored. I got free images on my website that you can download. You can download and heal your body for free. Don't cost you a fucking penny. Well, you have to pay internet to actually get it, but you're not paying me. You're paying for your internet service. Go to my website, download, follow the instructions, and you'll be healed, right? And if you want something faster, you go to my product. You go on my products, order something. Everything on there is for the benefit of humanity, period. And there's really there's really no price for it. Like the stuff is priceless if you ask me.
Right.
And that allows me to benefit from it financially because I need to do things in order to produce more.
Right. Right.
Right. Um, I was just going through some of my inventory and these Stylus type medical wands. I have tons of them. They're not really selling because I don't really talk about them. But these are easy to use. You can wrap them around your finger and hold it, right? And pull it out when you need it. Put it right back in your pocket. It won't hurt you or anything. You won't sit on it like a crystal wand and break it.
Yep.
And you pull it out and you can do things and manifest things and whatever it is that dad will allow you to do with this.
Right.
It is a tool. It's a tool. Once you increase your abilities and practice the method that I told you guys, that I taught you guys for free, you'll be able to do some of the things that I do.
Right.
Until then, you need devices like this, and they help me do what I need to do. especially the Help Someone Today campaigns that I'm doing right now. So yeah,
Well, and a lot of people ask how to use the wand, and literally it's pointed at the thing you want to heal.
point and shoot. That's what I say.
Yeah, you don't even really like even need to know what the illness is. Just, wave it around someone, their photo, whatever it is, your food, and it's going to lift the vibration.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's the cool part about all this stuff. You literally just have to point
Yeah,
and shoot
yeah.
because dad knows what the problem is. So he's using you as a vessel to point and shoot until you're able to do like me and just go pow, and that's it. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is I do life-changing shit for everybody every day. Whether they believe it or not, I do. I make miracles and wonders happen. I'm able to grant wishes. I do this shit. There's nobody on the internet like me anywhere, which is why they go like, stop them, stop them, stop them, stop them, stop
Yeah, yeah, they do.
them. But it's all good.
Yep. So long as we're talking about products, let's talk about them. So I see you have your Apple Watch band on, right?
Yeah. So these
So,
are Apple Watch bands. They have
yep,
all types of healing modalities, properties, whatever you want to call it.
yep.
And they help your cell phone, your watch charge faster and stay charged
Oh,
longer.
okay. Okay.
Longer. So they do different things. Everything is a frequency. Everything. There was a study that's circulating on how the CIA has different codes that do certain things,
Right, I
right?
saw
And
that.
there's different numbers that do certain things, which is cool and everything. Some of them actually do work. However, I'm way more advanced than that. I, with Daddy, create an image or create an object or create a hollow or create a wand, and then we install the different frequencies in the items, in the
Right,
products.
right,
So you have one number from the CIA database, or you have millions of frequencies in one location.
right.
You see what I'm saying? So what I'm doing, they're starting to expose the fact that it's very real. So I do believe one day shortly they will have to admit everything they know about me, which we all know because I told y'all.
Told
Um,
you so. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
I
so
told you
for
so.
those that have the wands, like you can go out and wand your trees, your yard, or the creek, a lake, anything around you, and it lifts the vibration of that area, right? So just think
That's
of it
right.
this way. If thousands of us are doing that, okay, we're lifting the vibration of everybody and everything, a little drop at a time, but it all helps. It all
That's
helps.
right. That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
Positive grid.
Um, it's true. And nature itself, it's so advanced and people take that for granted. But
Yep.
there's different rocks and plants and things out there that literally do its job by keeping the planet clean, keeping the oxygen high so that we can breathe fresh air. There's so many different things that Dad created here that are beneficial. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because I recently released the air purification tower. Okay, well, that's what that does for the area and for the planet. Wherever you guys have that device, you're helping increase that pocket of energy in that area that's going to keep the
Right.
planet fresh, the air fresh. Plus, we have the crystals, not the crystals, but the Oregon pyramids. I know how Oregon works. I used to make it years ago, like years ago. So those frequencies that the Oregon produces, I was able to harness them because that's what I do.
Right.
I fucking collect frequencies like people collect cars. And I take all those frequencies and I put them into my devices. So that's why it's easy for me to take a crystal and put certain frequencies in it. That's why you have the Oregon pyramid. It's a crystal, yes. There's no organ in it besides the organ frequencies that I put in it.
Right.
And if you do your research, you'll understand that fiber optic wire allows light to travel. Those frequencies are also in it. So when you got the light lit up, boom, and you got your pyramid in your house or outside, don't even matter where it's at, it's constantly cleaning up the chemtrails everywhere through your house. Don't even fucking matter because we are in an energetic world. You see
Beautiful.
what I'm saying? So that's why I make these devices. I got another one that I'm making. It's going to be um, it's actually just a little simple coaster, but I'm also thinking of making a crystal one that um, produces electrons and all the other benefits, so that we can anti-age and whatever, continue to
Right.
anti-age because we already are. A lot of us already are. We've been anti-aging. Y'all been anti-aging since you met me. So we'll be releasing that sometime next week or so.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, we got all types of things that we're still working on, and of course, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, I need money for it. So that's one of the reasons why I get upset that they haven't released the funds, they haven't released the contracts, they haven't released the RVs, they haven't did any of these things. So I'm going to continue to put the heat on them, and y'all should too, just like I taught y'all. Put that heat on their asses. Let's go.
Done, done, done.
Done, done, done. All
Right.
right,
Okay.
let's
All right.
get some more questions in
All
so I
right.
don't feel like I'm blabbering.
No, blabbering is fine. All right. Are the Jews under control or are they still being allowed? Because, we're seeing like a lot of weather, especially lately.
The dues?
Jews and,
Oh, direct the energy weapons. Yeah, yeah. I thought you meant like the underground bases.
no.
They are under control, and certain individuals are using them to wake the people up.
Ah,
Um, although they do cause casualties and whatnot, their mindset is let's do this, and whatever collateral damage will be collateral damage, and then it will wake people up to question everything, which is what had that's what they've been doing. um if they would just come out and tell everybody what the fuck is happening, it would things would happen a lot faster.
it
you
would
know
be more convenient, but the fact that they have to have collateral damage and they think it's okay is not cool.
right,
Not
right,
cool.
right, right.
All right. Um,
um the cool part about that is that we will be releasing the crystalline chambers when the payments and everything is released. All the funding that I have, or that's coming to me, begins. We don't need money for the chambers, by the way. However, Dad wants me to be funded because I have other shit to do before I release the chambers, and lots of people will benefit from the chambers right away, and lots will never even get to have the chambers because of their actions they'll be expiring. Um, but yeah, once we are funded, the chambers will be released for everybody that needs them.
okay. Okay. And okay, so we're seeing a lot of video about Antarctica, like they're seeing cities and things beyond the ice ring. Okay, is beyond the ice ring still our district, or is that other districts?
Those are those are other districts, and they're bigger and bigger and bigger districts than ours out there. The planet is 10 times bigger than what people believe or what people know. So yeah, it's all going to be revealed.
Okay, okay, very very interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Okay, so I want to switch to a couple Bible questions if it's okay.
yeah.
Are there 777 chapters in the Bible?
Um, I mean, I really, as from what I know, they can be in as many chapters as there are. They don't mean shit.
So it doesn't matter kind of a answer?
Yeah,
Yeah, because we know
they can be. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
there's a lot of hidden chapters or whatever that are like we're finding in the ground or whatever, like that have been hidden away, and it's all been modified, and it in a way doesn't matter because we're going to learn the truth really soon.
Well, the problem with that also is that there have been so many different Bibles out there and so many different versions of it. Like, do you really think Dad flooded the earth? Do you really think he made people into salt pillars? Do you really think he's the one that's doing what they're doing in Gaza right now? No. So no, those Bibles were man-made, and most of them were cabal. Not only that, the the ones who won those wars at the time were the ones who created those things.
Right, right.
So
Yep.
there is a lot of truth in it because if you understand it the way that I do, then you'll know that's nothing but someone's fucking dictionary or not dictionary, diary.
Mm, yeah.
Like
Okay.
for instance, our diary is all of these videos right here.
Mhm.
This is the modern day diary. You want to go look to see what we said or what was shown and told? Go look at all the old videos. And
Fabulous. Yeah.
yeah, and they'll be accurate because starting last year or the year before till right now, everything that I'd say has been happening. Not everything, but the important stuff.
Right.
Um, and I say not everything because it's still not time for certain things. Okay. So this is our diary that no one can take from us because it's here, it's real, you can watch it. It's not something that they altered. However, they do have technology to alter these videos, but Dad's not letting that happen.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your actual name in Jesus' time? And did you actually ride into Jerusalem on a donkey?
Well, the true name was Yeshua ben Joseph of Nazareth, and the donkey story is true. It wasn't the whole time though, because I
Yeah.
felt some pity for the donkey.
Okay. Okay. All right. So this to me is a super interesting topic. I've put off asking about it because there's so much to be talked about. But well, let's talk about the Great Reset. Okay, so we've talked about before how the earth has been, we're going to say cleansed multiple times,
Right,
floods, all sorts of stuff that have wiped the people out. Okay, so
right.
we're hearing about the Tartarians, and it's called the Tartarian mud flood. And it basically buried the cities and the technology and the history and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Is that a correct story?
Yes, and there's many of them just like it.
There's more than one.
Think about it. 500 plus billion years,
Yeah.
which is why you see pyramids underground as well. Not underground, sorry, underwater, right? There's certain structures and stuff underwater. Atlantis is underwater. Lemuria is underwater, right? And these are civilizations that are older than that, than Tartaria,
Right.
right? Including all of um the different the different civilizations that came and went, like the Moors, those empires and stuff like that. They're this has been happening to this planet for billions of years, which is why I laugh when certain groups claim title or claim that they own certain things when they don't.
All right.
Daddy's making all of it null and void if you haven't noticed.
So basically, what happens is we'll call them the bad guys, just wipe out the people whenever it's convenient for them, whenever they
Right.
need. control the people in some way.
It's been the reptilians. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're the ones that started the war thousands of years ago because of um you know it was like a domestic thing. And one of the humanoids killed a reptilian, and it's just been downhill ever since. That's what's been happening here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. People don't even know about these stories because I haven't told them yet. Um, it's like modern day gang members. You you kill a gang member, and that brother of the person that you just killed goes and kills your brother, and then next thing you know, it's ongoing shit
Right,
nonstop.
right.
You slap
Dang
want to kill you, and now your brother, since you kill your sister, type of thing. For thousands, billions of years.
They just blocked you out. You just blipped out all of that.
That's all right.
But basically, it's a back and forth war. And then they wipe out the humans, and we start again, and they wipe us out again in creative ways, right?
They tried to, yes, they
Yeah.
tried to many times. However, throughout all this time, there's been certain bloodlines and certain beings that were allowed to survive up until this point, which is why I'm here, which is why you're here, which is why all the other light beings are here,
Okay.
because our family line survived through everything because of the protection we had.
Okay. So this latest one, the one we're talking about that's, in most of the videos and things now, we're seeing all sorts of technology that they had, the beautiful buildings. They didn't really have plastic. It looks like they used wood or metal to make their machines. And it looks actually pretty awesome. When was that? Was that in the 1800s or would what you call it 1776 or
Yeah, it was about 300-400 years ago, and the reason why they didn't have plastic is because they weren't digging for oil.
they were using free energy?
Free energy, wood, and
Right.
the elements that you have on the ground.
Yeah,
You
okay,
can take salt, not salt, but you can take sand and different materials and make metals out of it. That's what
right,
they've been doing.
okay.
Right. So
So
all the plastics come from oil, which is why Julian Brown is now turning it back to fuel.
awesome.
So there's been a whole lot of this shit happening, and we have the answers to it, and we're going to do what we have to do.
Okay. I just thought of I want to back up to the space category. I just thought of a question that was asked. What are portals made of? Like, are they man-made or ET made or are they natural?
Both, or should I say all three?
Oh,
Because I can make a portal just with my mind.
okay,
You can make a portal with a device, and you can be ET or man-made to make the device. If you have the right frequencies and the right hertz, you can open up portals.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know where you're going to go? Like you put out a video yesterday of a guy going through like a doorway portal, and there was a city, it looked abandoned actually, there. Where did that person go to? And did he have a choice about where he went?
No, because that portal was designed to a specific location where it was used to it was used as a training camp, a training or and the funny thing is right before I saw and posted that video, I was literally telling you that we have been taking people and putting them into other dimensions and other portals, pushing them through other dimensions and portals until
Right,
the great reveal is done, where
right,
the people that you thought were dead are not
right.
dead and they were just sitting in a different location waiting for these things to happen. So, that being said, we can create portals put you in a different dimension where things are super cool and you don't have to worry about nobody attacking you because we designed that area that we put you in. This has also been proven or told to you by JP when he goes into secret locations and different areas where there's greenery, and then you got to open up a door and then do this and then do that. The
Right.
Earth is super super big, and there's pockets of civilizations throughout it, including different dimensions all around us. So this space here is it's a little room where I have a studio in it, right? I can open up a portal right here and go to another location where it's no drama, no nothing. I got a bunch of tools, I got a bunch of cool things, a bunch of devices. I can go in it, grab it, and bring it into this dimension, and here it is.
Okay. Okay.
So when and this is going to prove how the time is not
Yeah.
straight, it's circular. So that's how we've been able to do what we're doing.
Well, again, in our mind, we think of technology as mechanical technology, let's say within the last 50 to 100 years. Okay. That's how we've been brought up. That's technology, right? And I had done a video with my daughter about Amelia Earhart, and she was portaled out. Instead of being killed, she was portaled out by the good guys. And time works differently where she is, and she's going to be coming back. And that's not the only one we've talked about.
No,
Fascinating stuff.
it is fascinating, and it is going to happen. And that's why
Yeah.
when I say certain people are alive, they're alive. And I don't give a
Yep.
fuck what you say.
It's going to be fun, fun, fun to
It
hear their
is fun. It
stories.
is fun.
Yeah.
It is very, very much so fun.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All right, next question.
All right. I want to go back forward to the Tartarian, the Great Reset slash mud flood. Okay. So the bad guys, the reptilians, planned this. How did they execute their plan? Like, did they all like hop on ships, or what happened so they survived? Did they go underground?
Well, you have to understand that they have a home planet, and they send out resources and groups of individuals from their home planet to do what they're ordered to do.
Ah,
It's just like here in the US. If Trump or the general orders someone to go, or a platoon of individuals to go to a certain location and
yeah,
make sure things get done, whatever it is, they're going to go do it. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why I had to eliminate the queen reptilian that was having babies nonstop, because her children were the ones we've been dealing with down here. So
right.
I had to kill that bitch first.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like they sent their guys from their planet, and whoever was killed on this planet was killed, like even the reptilians. It didn't matter because they were carrying out their orders. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Exactly.
Right.
So some of them were actually sent here on suicide missions and shit. Because that's what they do. You hear about the kamikazes, right? And who do you think created that type of mentality? Okay, so you have to, not you, but the general public has to understand that we've been in a draconian system. This is the draconian shit. The way I operate, the way that I live on a daily basis is a daddy source system.
Right.
And that's what we're returning to. No matter how you look at it, we're returning to a service to others, helping, healing type of mentality where things need to be taken care of. Somebody's going to pull out their wallet. That's what we're going back to. Somebody needs to be healed. Somebody's going to pull out their medical wand or just do the method. That's
Right.
what we're going. That's what we're going back to. That's where we're going. That's where we're at. We're
Right.
actually already there, us, right? All of us here, those of you watching, all of the thousands of people that watch these videos, because there's thousands of them. Don't tell me there ain't, because I know Dad tells me everything. Thousands, millions of people watch my content every day. That being said, those of you guys that take my method, my tools, my gifts, and use them properly are a part of what's happening on Earth, the big changes. So, thank you very much for participating.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So it's interesting because I dreamed about kamikazes 3 nights ago. I mean, what a weirdo thing to dream about, right?
Well, obviously, Daddy knew we was going to talk about it.
I guess so. I guess so. So, okay, I want to get back to this because I want to understand it. These bad guys come flying in.
Hold up, hold up. Where's all the questions at?
That's what I'm asking.
No, because you said you want to understand it. What about everybody else's questions?
They're loving this.
Well, I know. I'm just busting your
Getting lots of
balls.
hearts, right? I am asking some of their questions.
All right, good.
This does happen to be mine. So,
She does that
okay,
a lot, y'all. That's why y'all questions don't get answered, because Sue does that.
sorry.
It's all right, good. They're
All right.
learning.
I want to know how they brought like how they created the mud, like, and how deep it was. Like, did they just blast Earth or what happened
What you mean, mud?
for the mud flood? That was what I'm asking about.
Oh, well, that's nothing but a bunch of water being released from some location.
Ah,
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm only busting your balls, by the way. I love Sue. Um, check this out, because you know Moses West has the what's it called? It's a air atmospheric water device, right? That being said, do you really think he was the first one to make something like that? How you think this water got here in the first place?
ooh,
So, right. So, um, certain entities decided they wanted to flood a certain location, and that's what they did.
yep,
They put a device in place where it just flooded everything.
yeah,
That's what happened. If I was to take Moses West's device, put it here in the sand, what do you think that device is going to do to the sand? It's just going to blow it all away and then fall into the ground, because there's nothing but sand here,
right.
and it'll keep going and going and going and producing and producing and producing. That's how the flood started and began.
Thank you.
These reptilians, these dark entities, they have these tools. They can literally hover a ship over an area, right? And blast it with water. They can hover a ship over an area and laser the shit where there's nothing left and don't even harm the trees.
Right, right.
So there's lots of things that the people aren't aware of yet. And that's why Dad is allowing these things to happen, so that you can understand what's really been going on and how advanced certain beings are, and how they really don't give a fuck about us,
Right,
which should tell you that they need to be put down like a fucking stray dog.
right, right,
You understand what I'm saying? So that's why these things are happening, so that we can address it, we can talk about it, and we can make sure it never happens again.
yeah. Okay, two more questions, then we're gonna move on, all right? So, how did we'll call them the elders, the good guys, survive?
Dad,
Okay,
that's the simplest answer. Dad.
okay,
Because here's the thing. The elders and certain individuals have a connection with Dad. Those that have a strong connection with Dad, he shows them how to live forever. Do you understand what I just told y'all? So, in order for you to live forever, like myself, you have to get that connection to dad where he shows you and explains to you what you need to do to stay, fit forever, healthy forever, blah, 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 blah. Right? Um, myself, I know all these things. However, he still allows me to fucking gain weight because I got to deal with a lot of shit. So he says, he tells me things like, let go and you got the weight of the world. You should just let me have it. Easier said than done, right? Because there is a lot of things that have to be addressed, and they're not happening as fast as I like. So it takes a toll on me. However, I can also lose weight like this too, so I don't worry about it. I know exactly how we're going to live forever and its frequencies, and I have those frequencies already. Because, like I told you earlier, I store frequencies like people store, precious artifacts and cars and stuff like that.
Right.
So at the end of the day, being connected to dad gives you that eternal life that I've always told you guys about. Which is why the reptilians and the dark ones, the Dracos, and all the different vampires and all the different groups out there consume children because they think that blood from the child will keep them youthful and keep them living forever. And because they believe it, it actually happens. So when you take that from them, they deteriorate and die like they did. That's the only reason why they did what they did, because of them turning their back on dad and trying to compete with dad and trying to war with dad and all this other shit. They lost their eternal life. Those of us that know better, we know where our life, where our energy, where our love, where frequencies, where everything comes from. That's dad. So, and if you want to be like an elder, if you want to live forever, start thinking the way that Smarty's telling you to think. Period.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Mhm.
About 20 years ago, up in New York State, a guy was digging for a pool and they dug up like a woolly mammoth or something.
I remember that.
Yeah. So the question is then, let's say this happened, I'm still on the same topic, 3, 4, 500 years ago. Did we have woolly mammoths then?
Yeah.
So we're told that millions of years ago they were extinct when we actually had them.
Right. I mean, some of y'all still believe y'all were actually cavemen.
Well, I did have caveman eyebrows when I was younger. Just joking. Just
No.
joking. No. All right. So after this mud flood, then, how did we like repopulate civilization? Like we're seeing all this like stuff about clones, like the Patch babies. Is that
I've already answered that just a little while ago where I said dad let certain people live.
check? All right.
That's it.
All right.
There's movies like Aztec, the Aztec warrior or Aztec whatever what movie is. They left from the area they were in and they had to run for their
Yep.
lives. Okay, well that was a mother and father and two kids or whatnot. Those mothers and fathers and two kids ended up in a location where there wasn't wars. That's how they survived.
Okay.
They ended up breeding with all the other ones. Just
Gotcha.
like the story with Cain and Abel, right? Cain killed Abel. Cain was shunned. Cain left because dad sent him away. And all of a sudden, Cain has a wife, and where does this bitch come from? So I thought dad only made Adam and Eve. Wait, what? What's going
Yeah,
on
yeah.
here?
There's so many stories that are incongruent, right?
Right. So that being said, that's how we ended up where we're at because certain beings, certain people, got through the cracks ended up elsewhere, and
Found others.
over the period of history, if you would, the energy, the blood lines, the energy was changed and formed and reformed, and it became stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Where now we're at a certain point in time where you can't kill us because our energies and our bodies are compatible with the new energy fields, the new
Okay.
frequencies.
Okay. So then that leads me to believe, like we're told by the scientists that carbon dating is the way to find out how old X or Y is. That's BS as well.
Who made those machines?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't trust nothing they made at all. Nothing.
Okay.
That's why I run around touching shit. Do, 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 do. Because I literally do have the Midas touch. I'm a modern day fucking alchemist, if you haven't noticed. We
That's
make
fun.
sure things work the way
Yeah.
they're supposed to work.
Yeah.
Um, they have been making machines throughout the centuries that obviously dad allowed them to have. However, some of the machines they used with ill intent, and those machines have to be, you know, taken control of and reformed
Right.
or reused for um, a better purpose. Like we all know, it should be clear to everybody on the fucking planet right now that they've been using weather modifications. It should be crystal clear to everyone. That being said, let's take those weather modification devices and let's make the deserts green again. Okay? Because dad obviously allowed it to be created. So let's take that device that they've been using against us for so long, that there's also treaties that they won't be used against certain groups or certain governments or certain whatever. Let's take those devices and use them for what they can be used for, beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those earthquake devices that they've been producing and making. How about let's use those earthquake devices to fix certain landmass and make them flatter or even or whatever the case is, right? Because if we have a bunch of mountains somewhere that we can put people on, how about let's put one of those devices to work in that location where we can take those mountains and flatten them down and put housing on it. Come on, man. There's so
Yeah.
many things that we can do with the devices and the directed energy weapons that um they created.
Right. Right.
Actually, that is what's going to happen. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm just putting it in the air. Like this is what we're going to do with all these things. We are literally reforming the entire planet. That's what Nassar is all about. Nassar was created by, people who saw there was shit wrong with the world and how, the Israelis and all that were fucking everything up and compromising things, and they were ordered to do so by the Dracos, the reptilians, blah 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 blah. Right? Um, let's go ahead and do Nasara 5.0. Dad always told me it was going to be a Nasara type thing, if not Nasara, and it would be a whole lot better. We don't need taxes at all. Not even when you buy something, we don't need taxes. One individual with the right account can take care of all the streets, all the buildings, all the infrastructure. Don't fucking tell me we need taxes for that. You see why I'm the king? Because that's how I think.
It's clear that it's super corrupt because after all these years of collecting, they still need more. Their budget goes up every year, the services go down.
You
Yeah.
know, the cool part about me disclosing all of the hidden stockpiles of gold and all of the hidden artifacts and all of the historical assets all around the world is that I'm doing it and I'm wishing that they go try to fuck with it.
That gives you an excuse.
Exactly.
Funny. That's
And
funny.
I'm that's one of the things that I like to do, create excuses for me to evaporate some food.
Yep, yep.
So that's what will happen when they attempt to look for the gold in um, um, Miami.
The
What's
caves or whatever you said.
yeah. What's it called? Dell something Dell?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Switch of topic. What's your opinion of using like AI, something like ChatGPT? Like we see these videos and stuff all over. People are really getting dependent on it.
Well, there's as long as there's no harm being done, then it's fine. We do know that some of these devices and some of the apps like ChatGPT was created by the Israelis. Um, that being said, it really doesn't matter if you trust your creator, right? Because we're using it too. All of the cool videos that we're putting out lately, it's AI generated.
Okay. Yeah.
I had asked Daddy about that, about the robots, about all of it, and how I wanted to eliminate it all, and he said no. He said um only the bad ones. So that tells me that okay, well it's a good thing to have then, huh? So that's what it is. We're not um I don't worry about those things. There's there's I mean Whoever asked that question obviously is afraid.
Okay. One
Obviously.
one of my concerns about it is that it takes away creativity. Like you should write your own paper, you should write your own book, you should write your own whatever. Not let press a button and walk away and then take the credit for it. It doesn't seem right, you know? That's me.
Well, yeah, that is cool. Um, However, if you input everything and it sounds like something you would say, then that's cool.
Okay.
There's no harm in that.
Okay.
Like if you input a couple of things and then you let it read to it, if you let it read it back to you,
Yep.
and it sounds like everything you would say, and it sounds correct according to what you would say, then there's no problem with that. And in fact, there's people making money off of that type of stuff.
Right.
And again, if it's not doing any type of harm, then I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
And dad is allowing that too. Um, so certain things like that, as far as people's opinions, you just have to stay out of it. Otherwise, you'll be casting judgment on something or someone, and it won't be good for you. So I let it go. I'm not bothered by it. Oh, you made a cool book, and it's selling. Fantastic, good job.
Okay.
Yeah, I stay away from it as long as they're not hurting nobody. Everybody deserves to make ends meet the way they see fit, and that's one of the ones that a lot of people are using nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's cool.
All right. And since we're on that topic, like Wikipedia, like I've never really looked at that until recently. Holy moly, is that tailored toward the mainstream agenda? Wow.
Yeah, well, you saw the Traore video, bits and pieces of it. He said that while he was visiting other countries, he was listening to the radio, and he quickly discovered that the radio was programming the people to believe
Right.
certain things about Burkina Faso that weren't true.
Right.
So he quickly shut that shit off. That's why he's in the positions he's in, because he went out in the field. He learned
Right.
all this shit.
Right.
And now he's making the changes that are necessary. And those of us with power are backing him. Okay?
Awesome.
Money isn't power. Not at all. Being intelligent and intelligent to know that that is real is where the real power's at. That's power. Shit.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now we're going to need a flow chart for this one. So we've got a lot of questions in this category. Clone
Right.
versus NPCs versus androids. Okay, 3 columns. All right. Okay, you can set it up the way you like. How is each category created?
Um, well, you got computer and computer animated, imagery,
Yep.
which is uh um the MP3 part. You also have um biological entities that you can clone and reproduce, and as many times as you want to.
Right.
And all three of them can be in one thing, because you can have all three and you can produce all three. So it's really, I mean, it's all depends on who's creating the thing. You know what I
Who's
mean?
creating it and how it, then that will determine how it's created and what it's used.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like
Right.
at some point, somewhere, in some point in time, someone created the reptilians. And those reptilians are doing what they're doing because they were designed to do, like I said.
Okay.
Daddy didn't create them. However, he allowed them to be created.
Oh, he didn't
Right?
create them.
No, he didn't create them. Just like he didn't create the paleos that think they own this world. Okay. So, however, he allowed them to be created because of the purpose that they would help fulfill.
Okay.
So, yeah, the MP3s are pretty much everybody that ain't a part of what's really happening around the world, right? And certain clones are like you just said, are put in positions to do what they were created to do. So yeah,
Okay.
it's all real. It's all real, by the way.
So there's so to like boil it down, clones can be created in multiple ways. They can have multiple purposes, good or bad, blah, blah, blah. So there's no one definition per category, is really what you're saying.
Right, none at all. You can have a robot clone. You can have an organic mechanism or organic sentient clone. You can have both. You can have cyborg clones. It all depends on what facility you're making these things at or where, right? That's why the secret space programs and some of the military bases here have clones, avatars ready to go for certain missions because they designed them for that. Meanwhile, the real entity is here. So there's a lot that has to still come out about all these different things. The main thing that needs to be completed right now is the wealth transfer, so that those of you that are in position to help expose all this stuff can do it in a way where you're not worried about your finances. So when this wealth transfer takes place, expect a technological boom, a um, financial boom, a informational boom like a waterfall. Daddy told us this morning that he's dropped it like it's hot.
Awesome.
I don't know what that means just yet, but I got some ideas.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So do any of these categories have souls or consciousness? None of them.
Mm-mm.
So no
They
matter
they
how,
they only have the energy that they were produced with. They don't have the consciousness like we do.
okay,
That's why you have to plug them in.
okay. So Elon Musk is basically an android. Okay. So was he ever a human?
No, not last time I checked, no.
Okay.
He was created and he was, all types of things that they did to that entity or
Okay.
that thingy.
All right. And about the little boy that was in Trump's Oval Office with Elon, his son, is he human or also an android?
I got a no to that. He's not human.
Okay. All right. Why would they bring back out of extinction a dire wolf? Like that's been in the news a lot the past month or so. Like, why would they pick that animal?
I'm not sure why they would pick that type of animal, but I do know if that type of animal acts up, he's gonna fuck around and find out.
Well, they're playing around with stuff, but it just seems odd to me that they're picking that specific animal. Okay.
There's other animals that they have brought back that haven't been actually some actually did escape from the underground bases and I had to eliminate them.
Ah,
So it's not nothing new. It's this one's just making public for whatever reasons.
okay.
Just because what happens with things like this, then it starts to raise questions. How are they able to do this?
Yeah.
Why did they do this? I guess we'll all have to wait and see. But like I said, if there's something that has to be addressed there, I'll address it.
Okay, cool. Because, we talked about Hawaii and the underground experimentation they're doing there. And they're working with extinct animals, with dinosaurs, with all sorts of races. And it just seems odd. Like there's got to be a plan there that I haven't thought of yet. Can't
Well,
be.
there's some places around the world that have animals that ain't seen in other places. Jurassic Park was a real location, is a real thing. Um, for instance, when I was in Puerto Rico, the area that I was in, we had barracudas, we had mermaids, we had manatees, we had stingrays, we had all of these different some animals I didn't even know what the hell they were. All in the same body of water, literally playing together, not playing together, but they were all in the same body of water.
Okay.
And some of them look crazy, scary as shit. Where some of they came out of the water and people saw them. Even mermaids. Well, I said that, but there's different types of species everywhere, all around the world, and this is all going to be also exposed. And because we're moving into an area where we're becoming full telepathic, it doesn't really matter what type of entity or not entity, what kind of species gets brought back because it will be able to communicate with us
Okay.
and vice versa.
All right.
Um,
So do you want to tell us a story about the mermaid? Zzz?
well,
Mermaids?
there was five of them when we first got there, and they were land. They were on the side of the water bank, and they were just saying how happy they were for us to be there and that they were excited for the changes. And I said, okay, well, you're welcome, and whatever you need, let us know. Um, and that was it. That was it for that part. But they were there the whole time, and then a few days later, Daniel, the videographer, popped up, and he went out back because we had it was like a mansion, and it had, the deck in the back, the water, blah
Yeah.
blah blah, the floating deck, and he went out there, and one of them showed themselves to him, and he was freaking out. So he's like, "There are mermaids back there. I just saw a mermaid," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. There's five of them." And I did it in a way where, yeah, I know, it's cool. And then kept on doing what I was doing,
Yeah.
and he was like,
So
"What the
when you see the mermaid, you see what they really look like, right? You see their energy and all that.
We see it all. Yeah, we see it all.
Okay.
And there's different types. It's not just one type. Go ahead.
Okay. So let's say a regular person sees them. What will they see?
They'll see exactly what the mermaid wants them to see. Some of the mermaids can actually form into humans. The movie Splash, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
CERN, that's a real thing. A siren, CERN, whatever it's called.
Siren. Yeah.
Yeah, siren.
Yeah.
That's a real thing based on real events. Y'all know now that the CIA and the Department of Defense were the ones. Well, not all the movies, but they made a lot of movies, and a lot of it was actual events. Just like X Files, they were John D'Souza's investigations. So, in order to get these type of movies done, they're basing it off of real content,
Right.
real stuff.
Right.
So yeah, they can look and appear however they want you to see. So if somebody says a mermaid look like this, okay, cool. If somebody says a mermaid look like that, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We don't look the same. Some of them are beautiful, especially the female versions. They're beautiful. They look beautiful. Rainbow skins and all that stuff. Green or blue, depending on where you're at. Yellow. Some of the men look more scary looking, and that's I guess that's normal. Some of us men look scary looking too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had done a video a couple years ago about mermaids, and they've got different ones have different abilities, just like
Yeah, it's
people,
true.
right?
That's
And
true.
yeah, so for people that haven't watched those little videos, like I'm finding out so much information by doing them, right?
It's true. Very true.
Yeah. All right.
There's so many things that are still yet to be revealed to the world,
Yeah.
and it's happening in stages, and because of the consciousness rising and people are accepting that their consciousness is rising, more and more stuff will be revealed, exposed
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
um and I'll say this: I did want to again raise the consciousness to a whole nother level, and Daddy allowed it this morning. So a lot of individuals faded away instantly when we did that.
Okay.
um it's not like you're going to miss things or miss people, because they are fading away and it's like they never existed. Just like some of the problems that you all facing right now. Some of the problems that the everyday person is facing is literally going to fade away because we're moving into a whole new reality. That's what this has been about.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Yep, very
Yes.
awesome.
All right. You had mentioned Jurassic Park is a real thing. Are you talking about here in this district?
Yeah, it, I flew to Puerto Rico in a private jet. Okay. There were so many islands that aren't on the map that we witnessed. I even videotaped them. Some of them had literal cities on them. What the fuck? Where is this? Where is that? And the crazy part is we had no internet. I wonder why. All the other liners have internet. All the other, private, I mean not private, all the other places have
Yep,
internet.
yep.
We didn't have no internet going or coming, which
Wow.
was which was a little odd to me because
Super
when
odd.
when I came from Pennsylvania to here, I had internet.
Right.
Anyway, we saw islands that weren't on the map. The cool part is my watch, my watch has the Earth on it. And every time I look at it, it shows the green dot on where I'm located. So my watch was still working and I was taking photos of it. Like, oh shit, this is looking out the window, like, what the fuck? Where's this at? And the person we were with, um, he flies. He loves to fly. He can fly the fucking jet if he wanted to.
Right.
He was saying that there's islands out here that we've never there's not they're not even on the map. So I'm looking at the map on my watch and then taking screenshots because we was over locations that there was supposed to be nothing.
Whoa.
Nothing at all. I'm gonna give you another example. Ezra's mother is from Cape Verde. Cape Verde was never on the map either. However, it's a real island. Okay? What we just witnessed, all of us, it's not on the map. Don't know what the fuck it was. Crazy shit. Cool shit. It was cool. And the water was even blue. Not this color. It was fucking blue. Like, whoa, whoa, shit. I got videos of it. I haven't even posted them yet.
So interesting.
Very, very interesting. Very. Some of
And
them,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
Some of them had pockets of water on in and around the island where it was just like muddy type of water. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, I need to get me a jet.
With internet.
With internet.
Cameras on the bottom. How cool is that?
Exactly.
So what
Exactly.
you're
Exactly.
saying is one of those islands was used for Jurassic Park.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's islands out there that we have no clue what's on it.
Okay.
I'm saying that yes, there is an island that has a Jurassic Park type feel to it, and that's what they've been doing on it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also histories of people taking other people to islands and doing what they want with them. That's the real Mockingbird movie. That's what that is. Remember the movie The Maze?
Yeah. Maze
That's
Runner.
what that is. I'm trying to tell you guys that not only are they telling you the truth in the movies, but they actually did the shit.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow. That gives you a whole new thing to think about.
Yeah. Forever.
Yeah. So sidebar, I watched this movie a few months ago called Idiocracy. And it feels like that's where our society is. It's I don't know if it was on Netflix or what, but the people are basically stupid. They drink Gatorade all the time. They just horrible, but funny and kind of like where we're going now, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of idiots.
Yep. So,
A lot.
so interesting about those islands in the map. Anyway, I'm very interested whenever you show a video with the maps and how they're supposed to be. It's fascinating to me.
Well, you see now people are starting to reveal the real sizes of things.
Yeah, yeah,
So, there's a lot of shit out there that ain't out there.
yeah.
And I will say this, another interesting thing that happened on the jet rides is that we were zigzagging. We didn't go straight. We went down towards the ocean, over the Gulf, over Florida, kind of like over Trump's area,
Yeah.
then this way, then that way, and then this way. So what the fuck was all that about?
Yeah. Well, we talked about they're just trying to lengthen the trip, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Well, it's all coming out. We
Yep.
just have to keep doing our part.
Yep.
The more and more we do what we do, and I come up on here and tell you guys what's happening and where we're at and where we're headed, blah blah blah, the more will be revealed.
Right. Right. Okay. Do you still have time for more questions?
Yeah, let's get some a few more in, and then
Okay.
we're good.
Okay. So had a question about the current man-made laws. So we have laws where, like marriage is basically a legal contract, like things are contracts, okay, or whatever. And we know that these laws aren't real, or let's call it legal is a better way to say it. We know these laws are no longer legal, but society is set up to use these laws. So when is all of that going to be revealed?
It's being revealed right now. If
Okay,
you realize, if you realize it's all been a fucking a hoax or a trick on you, and you no longer wish to participate in their system, all you have to do is say it and live it. Don't participate in their system.
right,
It's going to fade away anyway. That's what we're
right,
working on. That's what's
right.
happening right now. Okay. We have rights that our dad, our father, our creator gave us, which is the right to live forever, the right to freely travel, the right to um, educate ourselves and learn what we need to learn and we need to know. If you leave it up to them, they'll teach you everything they taught you, which is why when people like us tell people something, that's crazy. I didn't see that on the news. My doctor didn't say that shit. My my lawyer says I gotta do this and I gotta do that. Your lawyer's a part of the system. So is your doctor, and so is the news. So, in order for you to unplug and have daddy's backing, that's what you have to do. Let it all go. Decide that you don't want to be a part of their system and operate that way. It's all being addressed anyway. The laws are changing to show people that we've been lied to. Um, what you're seeing now is all of the so-called politicians and judges and lawyers and all. People are not paying taxes no more because they know it's bullshit. Um, you know, People are not paying taxes no more because they know it's bullshit. If you didn't get that, because I saw it froze. Um,
But you sped up. That was funny on my end, at least. Okay, now you froze again.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Right, and there's
go ahead.
there's other things that you can do. There's other things. Oh shit. There's other things that you can do to protect yourselves. Um, I guess this is time for us to cut.
I guess so. So, but I find everything you said so interesting. And I've been watching the chat, so there's some other topics we'll talk, they'll go on the list. All right, so whenever you've got time.
Yeah, we'll do it again shortly. So,
All right.
he wants all this stuff out, and he wants it out now. So, and he wants me to finish this room up too, so we can do more of a podcast type thing and just
Yeah,
me talking shit.
yeah. Well, I think people find it interesting, and this is a great way to get the information out there, get our questions answered. So I always go through the chats when I'm allowed to, and I collect the questions and try to group them. Okay, so I'll continue to
Right.
do that. So
Yep.
people
Yep.
can
Yep.
ask what they want.
Some
But
of some of some of the some of my answers um, I'll have to recheck them, or not recheck them, but I'll have to ask Dad some of the answers that I'll give. A lot of my answers are because I've already asked him. I don't want to know everything. Um, I'm not Dad. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He has the final say of everything, and if there's something important that I need to address, then I'll just ask him, and then come back with the answers. So some of the stuff I just don't bother with. Like, I don't give a fuck if they're making a wolf. Who cares?
That's good.
You know what I
Well,
mean? All I know, if the wolf acts up, the wolf is gonna find out. That's it.
yeah, yeah. Uh, the reason I asked is I was just wondering why they chose that particular animal and why they've like shoved it in our face so much over and over and over, you know?
The wolves are smart.
Yeah.
So they're smart.
Yep.
Anyway, everything is good. We'll we'll come on next time.
Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate all you do.
Yeah, you too. You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you as well. All
All right.
right, love you guys. Be safe.
Bye-bye.